Looking to find out what's happening on the NDSU campus? Watch Bison Information Network News every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Cable 1 Channel 70. This student-run weekly newscast covers relevant news and current events, entertainment, Bison sports, and more. Watch BIN News Fridays at 9 p.m., Saturdays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., and Sundays at 9 a.m. on Cable 1 Channel 70.
Bison Information Network News is brought to you in partnership with Cable 1.
Welcome to Bison Information Network News. I'm Lydia Crackle.
And I'm Heather Viker. A high-risk sex offender has moved to 103 22nd Street in South Fargo.
29-year-old Michael Jans is a two-time offender with a record that dates back to 2008. In 2008, he was charged with sexual assault of a 15-year-old girl and then again in 2009 with gross sexual imposition of three 14-year-old girls. He spent 139 days in jail and was given 10 years probation in the most recent case. He was charged in Burleigh County for both instances and will remain a lifetime offender.
A preliminary hearing for a Moorhead man accused of killing a 20-year-old in Fargo has been pushed back. Miguel Cooley has been charged with a Class AA felony count of murder with intent in connection to the death of Gabriel Perez, who was shot and killed in the Main Avenue McDonald's parking lot. Cooley, who fled after the shooting, has been deemed a flight risk with bail set at $1 million. At this time, it is unknown when his preliminary hearing will be scheduled for.
A lawmaker is taking action to decriminalize small amounts of marijuana in Fargo. State Representative Shannon Rowers-Jones is in the initial stages of the bill that would turn the misdemeanor instead into a small fine for future offenders. In addition, Rowers-Jones has another bill in mind which would expunge the records of previous offenders convicted of nonviolent, non-sexual crime if they remain out of trouble for 3 to 5 years. The bill is expected to be introduced in the 2019 session.
In national news, lawmakers are working against the clock to fund several government agencies before it expires on December 7th. At the center of that fight, funding for President Trump's long-promised southern border wall. Omar Jimenez is in Washington with the latest.
A little more than a week. That's all the time Congress has to avoid a potential government shutdown, and there's a big wall in the way. The wall.
We want to finish the wall. We got to get funding from Congress.
And in a new interview, President Trump tells Politico if Congress doesn't appropriate $5 billion for a border wall, he would totally be willing to shut down the government. House Republicans have passed a bill with $5 billion for the wall.
We've seen what is happening along the southern border. I'm hopeful now that that changes and that we can solve this problem and make sure our borders are secure. And everybody realizes our immigration system is broken and that we can solve this problem once and for all.
The Senate, on the other hand, needs Democratic support for the bill, and bipartisan negotiators have only agreed to $1.6 billion for any border wall, nowhere near the president's target.
Secure the border is going to be a bottom line for the president. He's got a $25 billion plan. I don't think he expects to get $25 billion all at once. But he does expect to get $5 billion, like the House authorized, without a bunch of strings attached.
Even aside from immigration, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. There are other measures remaining, including commerce, justice, and science, which encompasses some funding for Special Counsel Robert Mueller's office. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez.
And now we'll go to Jay for our weekend weather update. Jay?
Thanks, Heather. The weather has been sporadic within Fargo over the past couple days, with snow coming on and off throughout the region. However, we will begin to see a break in that over the next coming week. This starts tomorrow with a high of 31 and a low of 24. Precipitation sitting only at 10%, unlikely to snow, but a high humidity index for tomorrow on Friday. Looking forward to our 7-day weather forecast, however, we can see that things will be pretty nice going into this weekend with a high of 31 and 30 on Friday and Saturday. But after that, things will start to cool down in the region, hitting lows of the single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, with the low of 2 hitting on Thursday. So weather will be nice in the beginning of the week, but at the end of the week, it will be cold. Back to Lydia and Heather at the desk.
Thanks, Jay. Coming up, an NDSU professor is going on tour.
And students take part in a self-defense class, all of that after the break.
Conveniently located across the street from NDSU's Herd & Horns is the place to go, whether you're looking for a fantastic meal or just a quick bite to eat.
Hi, welcome to Herd & Horns. Are you from the drink right away?
With friendly staff and excellent service, a restaurant for all ages. Herd and Horns, your home for great food and Bison sports. Welcome to Bison Block. If you are an NDSU student, you know it well. It's located right across the street from campus. How would you like to live in the same building as Starbucks, Jimmy John's, and Herd and Horns? Bison Block offers high-quality apartments at a very affordable price. For more information, go to our website at bisonblockfargo.com to apply today.
Beginning in December, NDSU's own will hit the road for a holiday book tour across North Dakota. A distinguished professor and author, Tom Isern, wrote the acclaimed book Pacing Dakota, detailing his life in the Northern Plains. The book is made up of multiple 500-word essays written about his life spent in North Dakota, from childhood memories to recent road trips. From December 6th to the 9th, Isern will make appearances in Watford City, Minot, Williston, Bowman, and Bismarck. The book is now available on Amazon.
The writing talents of NDS students will be in the spotlight during the 4th annual Showcase of Student Writing. The event celebrates the achievements of student writers and highlights the diverse range of writing created over the course of the semester. Students from more than 60 participating NDSU courses will display their work in areas such as first-year writing, writing in the humanities and social sciences, business, technology, scientific and professional writing, as well as creative writing and writing in foreign languages. This event will take place on Monday, December 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Memorial Union Great Plains Ballroom.
Yesterday evening, Campus Attractions hosted a free self-defense course for students. Michael Byer, a 7th-degree black belt in the American Taekwondo Association, came in to teach students the basic methods of self-defense. The class went over various quick-release methods, pressure points, confidence building, and ways to get away from an assailant. The class did not focus on ways to fight someone, but instead on how to remove yourself from a dangerous person or situation without escalating it.
Well, that's all I'm going to do for now, okay?
I think it's important for anyone, not just students, to come and learn from this event, because you never know when you're going to need it, and it's better to know it and use it than not know it and not be able to use it.
Campus Attractions plans for this event to come back next fall.
NDSU's College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences have announced the unveiling of a new film project. The documentary, titled 1898 to 1899 North Dakota Goes to War, is the story of the 1st North Dakota Infantry volunteers who fought in the Philippines during the Spanish-American War. The film, a product of Angela Smith's digital history class this fall semester, is scheduled to premiere December 10th at the Fargo Theater. The free event is open to the public. After the break, how NDSU's computer science team fared in a national competition.
And how a campus tree is giving students the opportunity to give back.
The TLMC offers a variety of services for NDSU students and instructors. Class project support is one of the key ways in which the TLMC serves faculty. Technology-intensive projects can provide students with an opportunity for creative expression, enhanced communication, and the development of digital media literacy skills that will benefit them in class, college, and beyond. We realize that there are obstacles and challenges to assigning technology-rich projects, and the TLMC is here to help by serving as a bridge between instructors, students, and the technology. We can help with project planning, identifying student learning and support needs, and developing, coordinating, and delivering project-specific support. Our services include hands-on workshops for your students, scheduled during or outside of class time. Individual and group assistance is always available for students on a walk-in basis at the TLMC lab. With access to a variety of multimedia software and hardware, students can store and work on their audio-video projects over time. Workstations may be reserved or used on a walk-in basis. Other learning resources include project-specific learning links on the TLMC website, our learning resource library, and a lynda.com learning kiosk. The TLMC Media Studio features space and equipment for video recording, studio photography, audio recording, and screen capture.
NDSU graduate student Tyler Rad performed his graduate recital at Beckwith Recital Hall Wednesday night. Tyler's recital, titled Art Songs by French Composers on Subjects Related to Venice, was inspired by the composers from the famous city. Through research, the soon-to-be grad gave a history lesson about the city and its music, then performed for the crowd.
The NDSU computer science students received high praise in Maryland over the weekend while competing in a National Cyber League's Fall 2018 team competition. Not only did NDSU's team compete, but were awarded 4 top 10 finishes and placed 19th overall out of 350 teams. During the competition, teams demonstrated their skills in multiple areas, including intelligence and password cracking. The National Cyber League provides entertaining and measurable methods of learning for a new generation of cybersecurity professionals that hopes to only improve in the coming years.
'Tis the season for giving, and the second annual Giving Tree is back on NDSU's campus for the holidays. The Giving Tree is located in the lobby of the library and is full of bison-shaped ornaments with a code for a specific child. Take an ornament off the Giving Tree and bring it to the front desk to provide gifts to children of students, staff, or faculty at NDSU that need assistance during the holiday season.
With holiday shopping in full swing, you may be tempted to splurge. But according to experts, overspending when you hit the store may not be entirely your fault. In today's Health Minute, Kim Hutcherson explains how stores can use mind games to get you to open your wallet.
We may sit down and make a holiday budget full of determination to stick to our priorities. But if those good intentions go down the drain, it might not be your fault. As holiday shopping revs into full gear, here's a look at some of the tricks companies play to get you to buy more. Number 1, putting out alluring scents. Research shows shoppers tend to purchase more premium products in stores with warm scents like vanilla and cinnamon. Number 2, mood music. Research suggests music and background noise may influence shopping habits. A study out of Beijing found shoppers in stores with fast-paced music were more likely to make impulse purchases. Number 3, grouping. Products placed together like a set seem to make shoppers more willing to impulsively buy the items in the display, even if they don't need them. And beware, these tricks aren't limited to brick-and-mortar stores. Online retailers use technology to track your spending habits so they can tailor their advertising with items curated specifically for you. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
After the break, Isaac Dienison will have our sports update.
What you have for us, Isaac?
Well, we'll be taking a live look at Hurton Horns. We'll have a live report from Hurton Horns on the Bison football playoff game this Saturday, and we'll also be taking a look at the Bison basketball teams in action this week when we come back.
Across the street from NDSU's campus, Hurton Horns is the place to go, whether you're looking for a fantastic meal or just a quick bite to eat.
Hi, welcome to Hurton Horns. Are you from the drink right away?
With friendly staff and excellent service, it's a restaurant for all ages. Hurton Horns, your home for great food and Bison sports. Welcome to Bison Block. If you are an NDSU student, you know it well. It's located right across the street from campus. How would you like to live in the same building as Starbucks, Jimmy John's, and Herd and Horns? Bison Block offers high-quality apartments at a very affordable price. For more information, go to our website at bisonblockfargo.com to apply today.
The North Dakota State football team finished their regular season undefeated and spent the first round of the FCS playoffs on a bye. This Saturday, the top-seeded Bison welcomed the Montana State Bobcats to the Fargo Dome in the second round of the playoffs. For more on this upcoming matchup, we join Bison Information Network sports reporter Eric Bunnell live at Herd and Horns. Eric?
Hey, thanks, Isaac. We are here live at Herd and Horns to preview the big FCS matchup in the second round of the playoffs between the Bobcats of Montana State and the top-seeded North Dakota State Bison. But before I introduce my special guest, let's hear from the head coach, Chris Kleiman.
Variety of guys back there carrying the football, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's one of the wide receivers. They're going to line up in 3 back sets. They're going to shift to an unbalanced set, and a lot of different ways to try to be creative to run the football. But that's how they've had success.
Welcome back to Herd and Horns as I introduce my guest now, Taylor Schlamer, Spectrum Sports editor. And Taylor, good to have you here. What do you make of this matchup of the Bison and Bobcats this weekend?
It's going to be 2 really good power run teams. It's going to be a grind of a game. Both these teams can run the ball on the ground. Troy Anderson, the quarterback of Montana State, 87 yards and a touchdown on the ground last week against Incarnate Word. He's almost Chris Strevler-esque, the former South Dakota quarterback. Wants to get to the edge, wants to run the ball, and is quite good at it. A converted linebacker, so he'll be putting his shoulder down for sure.
You mentioned him getting the quarterback for the Bobcats getting Chris Strevler-like comparisons right now, and the Bison were able to control Strevler. So are they able to control Anderson like they have been in Strevler in the past?
You got to feel like that's going to be the case, and that's where Incarnate Word had a couple of really good defensive ends, but not quite up to the same level as the Bison. And the Bison also have a really good linebacking core. You have Jabril Cox, and that guy is just fast. He will be chasing down everyone in sight. And you also have guys like Robbie Grimsley crashing down from his safety position, get down in the box and make some tackles.
What do you make? What's the biggest X factor to you coming into this game for the Bison?
It's going to be that Bison passing attack, and this is something the Bison haven't had to do much this season, but Stick has been incredibly efficient. The Bison are 4th when it comes to passing efficiency this season in the nation, and you have guys like Ben Ellison, 7 touchdown catches on a total of 12 receptions. That's just money, and it's efficient.
Talking about Ellison, he's like Stick's go-to guy as a tight end group. What do you make of Darius Shepard? Do they put a linebacker on him, or how are they going to cover him?
You got to throw a corner on him because he is just that good, and it doesn't matter who really you put on him. Darius has been able to make some big plays all season long.
Before I let you go, what do you think of the JMU Colgate game? Who do you see coming into, assuming the Bison win, who do you see coming to Fargo next week?
I have James Madison there, but head coach Mike Houston currently in a bit of hot water there. He's expressed interest in the job at Charlotte, and it's kind of odd for a coach to come out in public and say that.
All right, well, thank you, Taylor. Thanks again to Herd and Horns for letting us come here to do our live shot. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Eric. This game can be seen on ESPN3 with a cable provider login. It is scheduled to kick off on Saturday at 2 o'clock. The winner advancing to the quarterfinals, and they'll play either Colgate or James Madison. The NDSU men's basketball team traveled out to Spokane, Washington Monday for a meeting with the #1 team in the country, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The last time these two teams met was in the 2015 NCAA tournament, a 10-point Bulldog win. We will pick it up in the first half. Bison had just gone up 19-18. It's going to be Brandon Clark squaring up, knocking one down from mid-range. Gonzaga at this point now up by double digits. Later on, it's Josh Perkins getting the pass back in transition, squaring up and nailing another 3, 14 points, the lead for Gonzaga. Then it's going to be eventually finished off by Ryu Hachimura from Zach Norvell, the slam in transition, now a 20-point lead for Gonzaga. And still in the first half, it's going to be Brandon Clark sending that shot back, getting the fast break started for Gonzaga, finished off by Zach Norvell in transition. Gonzaga shooting 72% in the first half, leading 53-25 at the break. And in the second half, it's more Gonzaga. Corey Kispert hits 3 consecutive threes for the Bulldogs. 15 in the game as he knocks another one down from the corner. And yet another one from the right corner for good measure. A 40-point lead at this point, and it would not get better. Gonzaga big over NDSU, 102-60. A lone bright spot for the Bison, Vinny Shahid, 16 points and 2 rebounds. They'll take on a different type of Bulldog this Saturday night at US Bank Stadium. They'll be taking on the Drake Bulldogs. Tip-off scheduled for 5:30. The North Dakota State women's basketball team hit the road to take on the Huskies of Northern Illinois. NDSU held a 9-8 lead in the first quarter, but that was the last time they'd hold a lead as the Huskies would outscore the Bison 73-55 the rest of the way. Michelle Geislerova led the way for the Bison with a career-high 30 points. They'll now return home to take on the University of Missouri, Kansas City, the Kangaroos on Sunday. Tip-off scheduled for 1 p.m. Last week, members of the Student Athlete Advisory Council took part in one of their biggest charity events of the year, the annual Summit League Food Drive. The members spent the first week in November collecting non-perishable food items and monetary donations at different Bison sporting events to prepare for the drive. They then took all the food and money donated and brought them to the Fargo Emergency Food Pantry for people to pick up. The timing was perfect this year, falling just 2 days before Thanksgiving, which made the SAC members feel really good about helping those in need.
It's super important. I think we picked a great time to do this volunteering, and it's just awesome to give back to a community that gives so much to us.
Last year, the group gave out more than 7,000 pounds of food. This year, the goal is around 5,000. The event takes place twice a year. The next one is scheduled for this spring. Sunday night marked the 117th meeting between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Each team came into the game not only looking to avoid another tie, but to keep their playoff hopes alive. You see Aaron Rodgers leading the Green and Gold Brigade onto the field. Here in the middle of the first quarter, it's Aaron Rodgers finding Davante Adams for a touchdown to put the Packers up 7-0 mid through the first quarter. Vikings on their ensuing possession. It's going to be Kirk Cousins finding Dalvin Cook on a little swing pass. Pat Elflein leads the way. Cook does the rest into the end zone. Vikings tie the game at 7, and a little limbo celebration, maybe celebration of the year. Who knows? Later on, it's Green Bay with another touchdown here. Aaron Jones taking the pitch from 6 yards out. 14-7 Packers out in the lead. And on the Vikings' ensuing possession, it's going to be Kirk Cousins off play action, loading up and firing deep to a wide-open Stephon Diggs for a touchdown. Minnesota now tied at 14. They kick a field goal later. It's now 17-14 late in the third quarter. Kirk Cousins rolling out, and he finds Adam Thielen sitting down wide open and powers his way into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. How do you leave 19 in purple open? 24-14 Vikings lead there. Late fourth quarter, Packers trying to give themselves a chance to come back. It's Aaron Rodgers dropping back, given time, and finding an open Davante Adams, but just out of his reach. Rodgers visibly upset. Packers would kick a field goal on that drive and would not get the ball back. The Vikings win this game 24-17. Kirk Cousins outplaying Aaron Rodgers in this one. 342 yards for Cousins, 198 yards only for Rodgers. And the Vikings now at 6-4-1, Packers at 4-6-1. And I would be remiss at this point if I didn't plug the show that Jay and Eric do weekly. X's and O's, the last show I believe will be next week. Last show was not one to miss, and I guarantee you that there'll be another one, be an interesting one to view.
All right, thank you, Isaac. Coming up, we'll hear how students are preparing for their finals.
After the break.
The TLMC offers a variety of services for NDSU students and instructors. Class project support is one of the key ways in which the TLMC serves faculty. Technology-intensive projects can provide students with an opportunity for creative expression, enhanced communication, and the development of digital media literacy skills that will benefit them in class, college, and beyond. We realize that there are obstacles and challenges to assigning technology-rich projects, and the TLMC is here to help by serving as a bridge between instructors, students, and the technology. We can help with project planning, identifying student learning and support needs, and developing, coordinating, and delivering project-specific support. Our services include hands-on workshops for your students, scheduled during or outside of class time. Individual and group assistance is always available for students on a walk-in basis at the TLMC lab. With access to a variety of multimedia software and hardware, students can store and work on their audio-video projects over time. Workstations may be reserved or used on a walk-in basis. Other learning resources include project-specific learning links on the TLMC website, our Learning Resource Library, and a lynda.com learning kiosk. The TLMC Media Studio features space and equipment for video recording, studio photography, audio recording, and screen capture.
Finals week is coming up and the anxiety for students is setting in.
Reporter Tristan Dakota asked students about their feelings towards finals week, along with some studying tips in this week's Bison on the Street.
Definitely kind of like stressful, like all kind of ending at once. But I feel like the best way to study is just kind of like allow yourself time to just unwind and not freak out so much about it.
I'm sad about finals week. And Quizlet. Quizlet's definitely the best way.
I'm really nervous for finals because my first one, I'm a freshman. The best way to study is just stay in the library and get as much studying in as you can.
I'm very stressed about finals week.
Pretty confident about finals week. The best way to study I've found is to get a lot of sleep, so go to bed early.
So far I feel okay because only half my classes have finals, and I'm studying by reviewing all of my notes and all of the previous tests.
While finals are on the brain for many NDSU students, we can't help but get excited for a remake of a childhood classic, The Lion King.
Here's David Daniel with this week's Hollywood Minute.
Disney's live-action version of The Lion King doesn't hit theaters until next July, but it seems fans are ready. This teaser trailer racked up an astounding 224.6 million views worldwide in its first 24 hours. The only trailer ever to do better, Avengers: Infinity War, which drew 238 million views.
It is important to make new friends in court, is it not?
The Favorite was quite a favorite in its first weekend in theaters. The acclaimed period pick starring Olivia Colman, Emma Stone, and Rachel Weisz made an estimated $420,000 on just 4 screens, about $105,000 per theater, the best opening weekend average of any film this year. It appears lifelong Shakespeare fan Al Pacino is finally set to tackle one of the Bard's greatest roles. According to the Guardian newspaper, Pacino will star in King Lear, reuniting with his director and producer from 2004's The Merchant of Venice. The producer tells the Guardian filming is planned for next fall in the UK. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Before we go, let's take one last look at the forecast for the upcoming week. The weather will be manageable heading into the weekend, with Friday and Saturday being partly cloudy days with highs in the low 30s, but starting on Sunday, temperatures will begin to cool down and stay that way through the rest of the week, with lows hitting the single digits Tuesday through Thursday. The lowest temperatures for the week will come on Thursday with a low of 2, and projections show that temperatures could be in the negatives on Friday. So make sure your warmest clothes are ready for action at the end of next week. Thank you for watching this edition of Bison Information Network News.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
And catch us right back here next week for our final show of the 2018 fall semester.
Have a great night, everyone.